I had a chance to see the temple there.
He works part-time as an advisor to the country's National Assembly president, and he and Maury work in the church service center. Ling is grateful for what he found in the city.
I converted to the church because of a missionary from Idaho, one from Pingree and one from Orem, Utah. They came here, without thinking. They want to serve God. They want to share the happiness, share the plan of salvation to my life. And I think that I will not forget it.
Invite a spirit of peace into your home with this symbol of our Savior's love. Save 60% on this beautifully finished 18-inch high piece. Also,
many Cambodians still get their first glimpse of the faith when missionaries pass them. Elder Salmon from Cedar Hills, Utah, and Elder Na from Siem Reap, Cambodia, wind their way through busy traffic on the main thoroughfares.
So are you enjoying your mission?
Yeah, really enjoying.
How's it going? Have you converted a lot of people?
Yeah, sure. A lot of converts people.
Trying to convert Buddhists, how is it difficult?
It's probably easier than trying to convert Christians.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Why do you think that?
Well, they don't really have like a mixture of doctrines already. They're pretty much just sort of set in their ways, but they're pretty laid back. So when they know it's true, and they just kind of jump right into it.
This couple is an example of that enthusiasm for the gospel. Engbun Hoich and his wife Pendani had a traditional Cambodian wedding. They were baptized in 1998 and sealed in the Hong Kong temple in 2005. They say they love the teachings about family.
I know for sure that the gospel can lead these two men to be a righteous man in the future. So because I always trust in the gospel, if they walk away from the gospel, it's going to be a trouble.
They are both returned missionaries. He served in Cambodia, she served in the United States.
I went to Tacoma, Washington mission. Yeah.
How was that?
It was nice, green there. I love it. I love my mission.
I convert 153 people. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, Most of the young people like me, I was in Buddhist before, but I don't really understand about the doctrine or the concept of the Buddhist. So with young people, it will be easier, but if with old people, like they have 50 or 40 over, it's a little bit harder. But we have to have faith, and the miracle will help them to change their heart.
They are one of 6 young Latter-day Saint families who live in the same housing complex, and almost all of them are returned missionaries, serving either in their own country or the United States.
I went to Sacramento.
How about you?
In Cambodia.
You did yours in Cambodia?
Yeah.
Which do you think is easier?
Cambodia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy for me because everything changed for me in 2 years. Because food, weather, everything just hard.
Missionaries introduced another family. Some members still Buddhists, some Latter-day Saints live together. This brother and sister joined the church in 2003 and served missions. Their mother became a member in 2004.
Because of my dad passed away, we learned about for the baptism for the dad, and we start too interested. And we know that we can live with our father again.
In another part of the capital city, Elder Lines and Elder Anderson make their way from home to home in an area where Vietnamese immigrants live. They do not live integrated with the Cambodians, but here, near the river, or they live on the river in boats.
Ranging from like this size to little canoes with tarps over them, so.
And they're Vietnamese people?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few Khmer, but for the most part, they're all Vietnamese because they can't own land and they don't have any connections, so they just take whatever they can find.
These missionaries wear name tags in Vietnamese, but interestingly, they are not their real surnames.
Xin chào chú. He gave us. Yeah. In the MTC, they gave us, our teacher, he's from Ho Chi Minh, and he gave us Viet names.
How do you pronounce it?
This one's Nhung, and Ca is elder, and Nhung is my name. And he gave us those because the Viets have a hard time pronouncing anything longer than one syllable.
This man says he found the faith through study. He read the scriptures, including the Book of Mormon and other resources, and felt it was right.
Và Chúa ta thích gì về giáo hội của chúng ta? Bởi vì giáo hội của chúng ta là một giáo hội ngay chính và luôn luôn làm những điều tốt, và có thể là những con người mà sa vào những cám dỗ có thể họ trở lại những cuộc sống được ban phước.
So he said that he likes the church because it's very righteous and it is always helping to do good things. So that people who fall into lives full of temptation and sin, they can change and they can become good people.
They make their way to the home of another church member, a woman from Vietnam who has lived in Cambodia since 1997. She was no longer welcome in her country because she is a person of faith. Though her ancestors were Buddhists, she says she wanted to be a Christian.
She'd wanted to follow Jesus Christ for a long time, but it wasn't until she came to Cambodia that she was able to find his church.
Whether it began as curiosity about the church or whether they were brave enough to move beyond family faith traditions, the Cambodian Latter-day Saints say this gospel has helped them find joy in their families. Once separated by war and an evil regime, they have found hope in the future. And for many, love, which manifests itself as charity toward all. As the Savior taught, they say, love one another.
Hey.
Scott Neeson walks through the slums in Cambodia's capital city, collecting children. They live here in Stingman Che, the garbage dump. Besides the deplorable conditions, many are subject to daily abuse. Each child is expected to earn 25 cents a day selling plastic bottles or other items they collect in the dump for recycling. This is often how the family pays for food. The young ones face harsh punishment if they fail to bring home less than expected. Born in Edinburgh, raised in Australia, Neeson, now an American citizen, has spent the last 5 years rescuing hundreds of them, building the schools where they now learn. But it's a far cry from this. Neeson spent 10 years at 20th Century Fox, eventually becoming president of International Releases, managing Hollywood successes Titanic, Braveheart, X-Men, and the new Star Wars trilogy. He then went to Sony Pictures. Life in Hollywood was good.
You're a rich man.
I was very wealthy, yes. I had a very good salary there, very nice house in Brentwood. I was doing very nicely, yes.
Not so much now?
Not so much now, no.
In 2003, Neeson traveled to Southeast Asia and stayed here for several weeks. It changed his life. 1 year later, he sold the mansion, the luxury cars, everything, and moved to Cambodia.
Feels like something I was meant to do.
He created the Cambodian Children's Fund. These children are in the daycare center.
They're going to wash their hands. The staff show them how to wash their hands, and then they go to lunch. There's 73 here now. So much for the plan of limiting it at 25.
Hundreds more attend the elementary school. Each child is sponsored through private donations, which means he or she receives an education in English and Khmer, arts, drama, culture. Many live on campus during the week. They also receive vaccinations and checkups at the free health clinic on campus. And there are now 3 satellite classrooms outside Phnom Penh.
The irony is that the satellite schools were for kids on a waiting list to get into CCF. And now there's a waiting list to get into the satellite schools, and it's never ending.
Are you at capacity now?
We passed capacity, I think, about 50 kids ago.
You went to school? How's salary? The actual jet salary? You like school?
Yeah. First day in school, Monday.
Neeson says the children can take their trays back for seconds or thirds, all part of a nutritional program. They also receive multivitamins every day.
This is Soktin, she's 5. With water in, she was 15 pounds, and she's doing so well. She had I think it was tuberculosis. And Saivan here just started school. Saivan, she's doing so well now.
And here are the before and after shots of children born in the garbage dump. Neeson says they rise to good health and smiles. very quickly.